Welcome to the NitWits, a weekly roundtable discussion on the Penn State Nittany Lions, now in its 28th season. Our panel features a longtime Penn State media and NitWits tag team, Neil Rudel of the Altoona Mirror and Mark Brennan of Lions 24/7 with Fight on State. And each week we welcome a former Nittany Lion as our special guest analyst. The NitWits are brought to you by Irwin Financial, Raymond James, a firm foundation for your financial future. By Reed and Solani Orthodontics, providing friendly, family-focused orthodontic care in Altoona, Bedford, and Huntington. By Kogan Electric, lighting the way for you. By Blair Candy Company, the one-stop shop for all your tailgating needs. Candy, snacks, paper supplies, and more. By Dorman's Jewelry, the answer is always Dorman's. By Harry's Construction, if you can dream it, we can create it. By DeLeo Games, serving the community since 1945. By Keller Engineers, delivering results, exceeding expectations. By Lions 24/7 with Fight on State, your online home for Penn State football and recruiting coverage. And by the Altoona Mirror, featuring Penn State Game Day every Friday and Penn State Extra every Monday.
What I'm doing, getting right to it. Yeah, the money is talking, I'm flowing, it's coming in just how I drew it. Yeah, you know what it is. Hey, we doing it big. Look up, there is no limit, no, we cannot settle for this. Yeah, can't stop, nah, won't stop. Yeah, spin on live. You don't believe it, just watch.
Welcome into Nittany Nation Overtime. We are the NitWits. I've really been racking my brain on how to blame this season, and I think it's our new format.
Nice.
6 losses in a row now, capped by just an incredible effort by Penn State and an incredible finish by Indiana yesterday, 27-24. The crowd just really got behind the team, and it felt like Penn State football again yesterday, except they couldn't make the key stop at the very end.
Yeah, I had said going into that game that Penn State should be beyond moral victories, but I have to take that back. I mean, the way that Terry Smith had that team playing against one of the top teams in the nation, and the way that they came back, and the way that their senior players, these are guys who could really easily have mailed it in, who things haven't gone the way they wanted, and you see Nick Singleton stepping up. Deni Dennis Sutton struggled in the first half and came back and played like a madman in a good way in the second half. Zane Durant, just all the heart that they showed, and then to have it just kind of ripped away. And Joe always used to say sometimes you have to give the other guy credit. I mean, my goodness. I mean, Indiana and Mendoza, the plays that they made and the receivers made were unbelievable. So I think if you're a Penn State fan, you have to have a lot of pride in what PSU accomplished. And Justin, I know you're a former player. I mean, I have to imagine you watching that. What's going through your head?
Let us introduce Justin.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. You're a regular guy with
Everybody
us.
knows Justin.
Yeah. Justin Kurpeikis is with us, and I apologize for not getting to that right off the top, but it's great to see you, Justin.
Thanks for having me back. It's always enjoyable to talk a little Penn State ball, so I truly appreciate being included.
Yeah. So what was your gut reaction yesterday in seeing that? Do you share that about the pride that the team showed?
Absolutely. And I say every year to you guys, like, my biggest concern is that the players, and that they have a great experience playing football for Penn State. And it's just heartbreaking that they did everything you guys said. They played like a Penn State team and did everything that you'd hope to win. And my heart breaks for them, because I want them to, regardless of how this year goes, I want them to leave, particularly the seniors, and say, that was a great experience. So my heart breaks for them, but there's still football left. And if you consider the teams they've lost to, I mean, you look what Iowa and Oregon last night down to the last bit. Oregon was tough. Indiana, Ohio State. These are tough teams they're playing, and they're hanging in there.
Justin, you've been at the pinnacle. You've won a Super Bowl. You won huge games at Penn State, but in 2000, your team struggled. How did you guys keep it together? I mean, how did you because you end up beating Purdue that year, and nobody gave you a chance. How are these guys doing it, and how did you do it?
So you're still playing football for Penn State, and you still believe every week that you're going to get better. If you understand when Coach Paterno and the great coaches say it's the process. The wins and losses don't always dictate exactly what the story is, and it's the process. And if you trust the process and get better each day, then things can turn around. Unfortunately, I think we were 5-7, but had the win against Purdue, won the last game against Michigan State to keep them out of the rankings, and so you live to fight another day. Yeah. The sun comes up Sunday, and you live to fight another day.
Just an amazing 80-yard drive, and it started with a Durant sack. So really, it was an 87-yard drive because you had him pinned back there at the 13. And maybe the best catch that we've ever seen, touchdown reception. Penn State was pretty much draped all over Mendoza. Threw it high to Cooper, and he got his toe down, had to be reviewed, and just an amazing finish. And their receivers, the plays that they made and the throws the whole way up the field. Is there anything you think the defense could have done a little differently on that last drive? Because as well as I think the defense did play, and I think this was Knowles' best game, you still can't feel great about a team going up the field 87 yards at your house at the end. Is there anything you saw?
Hindsight's 20/20, but I believe what the defense could have done better has still been on the sidelines. When we had the ball, that second to last possession, you get another first down, you salt away the clock, and the game's over. So Coach Cowher, when I played at the Steelers, and Coach Paterno, I felt like the way that they had the momentum and were chunking them, that we were going to get another first down, salt the clock away. So those are the gotta-have-it moments. And the way that Penn State played all day yesterday, I thought we were going to have it. And I didn't think that the defense would even be back out there. Unfortunately, that's not the way it turned out.
I thought that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I thought the 2nd and 13 or 17, was the key play because A.J. Harris was there, and I don't want to point fingers, but you have a guy who went into the season and everybody's thinking he's going to be a high draft pick, and that's where somebody needs to make a play. I mean, when you have Zakee Wheatley in the back of the end zone, I mean, you watch that play in slow motion, and I don't know how the kid stopped his 1 foot from hitting. I mean, you can't account for that. I mean, but that 2nd and 17, that's the play on that drive that I can't wrap my head around. That's where the difference between Indiana and Penn State this year. It's not talent. It's one team is making the big plays in the clutch, and one team isn't getting those plays made.
And hey, Oregon did the same thing when it really mattered the most. Okay, we're going to take our first break and be back right after this.
The NitWits are being brought to you by Irwin Financial Raymond James, a firm foundation for your financial future. By Reed and Salaney Orthodontics, providing friendly, family-focused orthodontic care in Altoona, Bedford, and Huntingdon. And by Kogan Electric, lighting the way for you.
You're watching Nittany Nation Overtime.
There's the official welcome for Justin. That's what I was waiting for, our spiffy graphics. And congratulations on your career, and thank you for being such a friend to our show.
I always appreciate coming down here, and you guys always thank me. I should thank you because I do appreciate and enjoy it.
Well, while we're there, why don't you give an update on your professional life? You're living now in Pittsburgh, and you got a big family, and you come back here, not just for our show, but you come back occasionally.
Absolutely. Back home in Pittsburgh, my wife and 4 kids, everyone's doing well. I still own Atlas Therapy. We have the community physical therapy clinic in State College, which is the top one there, and it's not even close. And since the last time I've been on, the news is also we have a group that works with Penn State Intercollegiate Athletics, treating the athletes. So legendary athletic trainer George Salvatore, I brought out of retirement. Dean Plafkin, a legendary PT, that's been there for 30 years, Andy Renaud. We also have a chiropractor, Dr. Kim Shulo, and Kaylee, one of our massage therapists that are working directly with the athletes now to help what's already a great program enhance the access to getting people healthy.
Salvatierra, Hazleton native.
Yeah,
That's
I've been
right.
having a little shoulder issue. Maybe I'll need a pass you could give me. Well, you touched on the, that they gotten another first down. Now, clearly I didn't love the 2nd and 10 call, but I think Penn State was trying to get Indiana to use all their timeouts, which they did. But then on 3rd and 10, I just did not like the dump to
Reynolds.
Rapp.
Or
No,
Rapp.
it was Rapp, yeah, for just a couple yards, and then you had to punt with 2 minutes to go. Indiana really used their timeouts. I don't know whether Grunk didn't have anything downfield, but they got real conservative, and they just haven't been able to put away. And this goes back to more than just Kotelnicki. I mean, this goes back multiple offensive coordinators under James's regime.
Yeah, I mean, sooner or later, I mean, we saw in that game where they finally started using the vertical passing game, and it opened everything up. I mean, Nick Singleton looked like a different player when he wasn't facing 12 men in a box. I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit, obviously, but I do think when you're in that position and you're the underdog, you have the crowd behind you. And how about a shout out to that crowd? I mean, yeah. I didn't know what to expect for that game, but everything's kind of behind you, and I think at that point you have to be more aggressive in attack. And unfortunately they didn't, and it turned out the way it did. The one thing I would say in their defense is that you have a really good punter, and Gabe did do a great job of booming that 63-yard punt. It would have been nice if they could have downed it, but still, you put them way back there. And you forced them to make unbelievable plays. But yeah, I mean, Justin's absolutely right. If you get another first down there, the game's probably over.
On the preceding drive where they took the lead, I like this call. I know Andy's taking a beating. But 3rd and 5, and you're in 4-down territory at that time, and he ran Allen up the middle, and he made the first down. And, I think that was an indicator. Now he tried it on 2nd down. He went up the middle, and there was nothing there. So that put them in 3rd and long. How did you think Grunkemeyer, how do you think he's progressing?
I think he's progressing well, and I think that he has shown himself to have a real good shot next year for whatever happens to be the lead guy. Back to that series that you're talking about, though, and I'm not one to second guess. I watched it on TV, so we don't know. I don't know who was downfield open or not. Right. Which has been a consistent problem they've had through the years. So he did throw that swing pass out there, but without the knowledge of was anyone down further, it's hard to second guess that.
Right, and I'm not sure he was really asked that afterwards.
Not when I was there, no.
Yeah. So, well, hey, there were some other things to like. Their defense, I thought, really got after Mendoza. I mean, Mendoza's got to be a Heisman front runner. Right, at least this morning.
They're back-to-back Heisman front runners, right?
Yeah, they're making Heisman Trophy.
It's going to be New York, on the show in New York. There's going to be a lot of Penn State.
But I liked how they got after him. I mean, it was amazing. King Mack played a great game, and the 3rd down play, I thought the ball was out because they had blitzed, but he somehow made a completion to this Charlie Becker, who was amazing and only had like 7 catches going into the game.
Yeah, I thought Denai Dennis Sutton, he went into that game in Big Ten play. He had 1 tackle for loss and no sacks. And in this game, he had 1 sack, not 1 tackle for loss, I'm sorry, 1 quarterback hurry.
Yeah.
In this game, he had a hurry and a sack, but I thought he was opening things up for other guys. They were paying so much attention. And how much different is that defense when you're pressuring the quarterback? And Justin, you would know that as a former defensive end as well as anybody.
So 2 things I'd say. Number one is that I have a close friend that played at Ohio State, previous to Knowles being there. But he said to me a couple weeks ago, like, it took basically Ohio State 3 years for them to really grasp Knowles' defense. So that's one part of it. The second thing, as you said earlier, give the other guy other credit. What that quarterback did, Mendoza, in that last drive was phenomenal. And then what was even better was his post-game interview on the field. Very devout young man,
yeah.
and he's an impressive guy. You don't want to give guys like that another shot, with the last drive.
Yeah, right. And Cignetti. I mean, Cignetti saying that it was one of the most unlikely, I don't know if that was his word, but he was in disbelief of how fortunate they were.
There were two teams, and what he also said in the interview is that we refused to lose.
Right.
There were two teams with that mentality yesterday. Like, we can't get lost in the fact that we have played really good against the top teams in the country the last 2 weeks, and neither team, they both refuse to lose. Unfortunately, the way that this world works and this sport works is one team does have to, and they had the last shot.
Hey, Penn State, 5 of its 6 losses are by a total of 16 points. I mean, that just tells you what you're looking at. And afterward, Terry Smith talked about a blade of grass here, a blade of grass there, and he's right. But I'll go back to what I said earlier. I mean, we've seen it through the years with Penn State. The best teams make those plays. You know, Trace McSorley at Iowa. You know, Kerry Collins against Michigan, out at Michigan. Hey. You know, these key plays that are made, and that just isn't happening, and it's hard to wrap your head around.
Go back to the defensive teams of 85 and 86 with, you know, stopping Notre Dame when it matters, but somebody always made a play. Just real quick, and I think Wheatley's been a very good player and will be a good pro, but could he have driven him out?
Yeah, I mean, I think he could have grabbed them and walked out, but we're looking at that in like super duper slow motion. Listen, I'm sure Zaki is crushed over not shoving him out of bounds, but you could look at that play 100 times, and even the announcers. I mean, the announcers could not believe that kid made that play.
Is Gus Johnson all right? Hey, let's take another break, and we'll be back here with our special guest, Justin Kurpeikis, right after this.
The NitWits are being brought to you by Blair Candy Company, the one-stop shop for all your tailgating needs. Candy, snacks, paper supplies, and more. By Dorman's Jewelry. The answer is always Dorman's. And by Harry's Construction. If you can dream it, we can create it.
You're watching Nittany Nation Overtime.
Welcome back. We talked about Terry Smith and how he has really kept the program together in the face of tremendous adversity. Felt so bad for him. Not that you don't feel bad for the players and everybody involved, but he's just poured his heart and his soul into this.
Yeah, Justin, I mean, you're friends with Terry. I mean, both Pittsburgh area guys. I mean, obviously he's played at Gateway, but what's it like for you seeing the job that he's done in a very, very difficult situation?
I'm glad you brought this up, because I wanted to address this. Terry Smith is one of the finest human beings you ever meet, and one of the finest Penn Staters. And I know that he's announced that he covets that head coaching position permanently, and I would support that very much. I got to say, if for whatever reason that doesn't work out, the guy has to be an assistant head coach and be able to stay at Penn State as long as he wants. He has been the glue. He has not got enough credit for what he's done, and I think that kind of like Larry Johnson at Ohio State, that he needs to be involved with our program for as long as he wants to coach. So that's me speaking for Terry. Would be supportive of him being the head guy. If he doesn't, they go another direction. He's got to be with our program. He's that special.
Did he cut your hair when you were? He was the team barber for a while.
He's way older than me. I'm a young guy compared to him.
Your hair looks good. I was going to give him some credit. Go ahead.
We do a thing where we make bold predictions before a game, and my bold, and it probably shouldn't even have been called a bold prediction, but I thought that Terry Smith was going to get the loudest round of applause during announcements, and he did. And I think that's Penn State fans appreciating what this guy has done.
Yeah.
Walking into a tough situation and, picking that up. And, I would also say this, that if he's not the guy, imagine if they hired a guy like Joe Brady. Who's going to be the bridge? If they need a bridge to whenever the next coach could come in, is there a better person to be that bridge? You follow what I'm saying? If somebody can't come in until after college football playoffs or after the NFL playoffs, this is a guy who can keep you recruiting together, try to keep the team together as best you can. I just can't say enough about it.
They're playing really hard for him. He did say he was a little disappointed in some of the third down decisions. I think he probably meant that underneath throw. Yeah. Thought he could have clocked it with 20 seconds to go, maybe saved that last time out. But hey, he's learning on the fly as far as these split-second decisions, and I don't know if anybody's in his ear or what the role was. Hey, the other thing, look over the other side of Cignetti. I mean, what an incredible job, and you're talking about National Coach of the Year candidate, but what strikes me is his ability to evaluate and develop. I mean, he's got a roster full of transfers, guys from James Madison, and when they asked him before the game, Indiana's never won here, he said, this team's never played here. I thought that was a pretty good line.
I'll tell you what, I was down on the field before the game, and that is not a big team. I mean, it reminded me of Boise, when we were out at the bowl game, and, some of these teams you see in Ohio State, you see at Penn State, there are like giants at every single position. Not a big team, but well coached and just play extremely well. And Neil, you talk about guys coming over. Well, they've been coached up with him for however many years, and there's something to be said for that.
His coordinators were with him at IUP.
Yeah.
This is still a game of hitting and heart and culture.
Yep.
Okay, so I know everything's changed and NIL and chasing the new fanciest thing, but if you can establish a culture and you can establish the mentality that he has, you can still win it. Look at it, Army, Navy, Air Force. The academies are doing great. Those guys stick around. Yeah. So if you find a way to create a culture like Cignetti has, you can win anywhere.
Okay, we're going to preview Michigan State, make our picks. Brennan's got green on. I'm not sure what that means. We'll find out right after this.
The NitWits are being brought to you by DeLeo Games, serving the community since 1945. By Keller Engineers, delivering results, exceeding expectations. By Lions 24/7 with Fight On State, your online home for Penn State football and recruiting coverage. And by the Altoona Mirror, featuring Penn State Game Day every Friday and Penn State Extra every Monday.
You're watching Nittany Nation Overtime.
Look out. Here he comes.
Neil was Nitwit of the Week. I will announce it for you since you're too
humble.
Yeah, too humble. Exactly.
Well, hey, I did pick it to a touchdown. I thought they would play tough.
Good job for once.
I can't wait till Landon comes back here. He had a 45-10. Anyway, going up to Michigan State, this is two teams with 6 losses in a row. And it would have been great to get Terry Smith his first win at home, but he's probably not going to be real picky. Oh, yeah, I guess I'm first.
Oh, boy.
Jonathan Smith really has looks like it has not worked out. In fact, James's name came up as a potential candidate up there if they would pull the trigger on the guy that came from Oregon State. We'll see. I doubt that. But I'm going to say Penn State 32, Michigan State 19.
Yeah, I liked what I saw from Penn State during that game, and I liked what I saw afterward. You had guys coming out and being accountable, Deni Dennis-Sutton, Singleton, Zane Durant. I mean, again, these guys could have mailed it in. I think they're invested in this. I mean, Deni Dennis-Sutton said after the game, hey, we're not quitting. Grunk, we're not quitting. I think they're going to pull it together and play extremely well. I wore this green because I think this is a cash money pick. I am going Penn State 42, Michigan State 14.
Wow, going big.
Yes.
And Justin?
Anytime I talk about Michigan State Stadium, I get a little PTSD. My redshirt freshman year in '97, they had 2 backs each run for over 200 yards apiece. Flozo, the Hotel Adams, about killed me. Okay, and then my junior year in '99, after we dropped to Minnesota and Michigan, we went up there and got beat again. So not an easy place to play, but I think that what you guys said, these guys are invested. You don't change from one week to the next and say, you either a mail-it-in guy or not. These are not mail-it-in guys. And I think we get their best shot. I think it's 42-14.
That's the same pick.
You landed right on them. That's a NitWits violation. Wow. You want to just change it slightly.
45-14.
There you
Okay,
go.
good.
All right.
Throw a field goal.
I don't want
Yes.
you to come here feeling squeezed. You'd be
Justin can pick whatever he wants. He's won a Super Bowl. I haven't.
uncomfortable all week. Well, yeah. Hey, you never know what you're going to get up there. You usually get not great weather. Michigan State's played a little better lately. They've been off this past week, but that's
their best week in a
They didn't
while.
lose, but they gave Minnesota a good game, and they also hung in there against Michigan.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I think Penn State's due for a breakout game. I love the fact that the offense finally started clicking, that they started going down the field a little bit after all these weeks, and I like their chances of playing well.
Okay, they're telling us to wrap it up. Justin, great seeing you, and thanks for being here.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week. We got Spider Caldwell.
The Nitwits have been brought to you by Irwin Financial, Raymond James, a firm foundation for your financial future. By Reed and Selaney Orthodontics, providing friendly, family-focused orthodontic care in Altoona, Bedford, and Huntington. By Kogan Electric, lighting the way for you. By Blair Candy Company, the one-stop shop for all your tailgating needs. Candy, snacks, paper supplies, and more. By Dorman's Jewelry, the answer is always Dorman's. By Harry's Construction, if you can dream it, we can create it. By DeLeo Games, serving the community since 1945. By Keller Engineers, delivering results, exceeding expectations. By Lions 24/7 with Fight on State, your online home for Penn State football and recruiting coverage. And by the Altoona Mirror, featuring Penn State Game Day every Friday and Penn State Extra every Monday. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.